Right, guys. Obviously, at the moment, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is under a lot of pressure at Manchester United with his job, and he's apparently being given the next three games against Tottenham, Atalanta, and also Manchester City next week to basically save his job. And I think it's definitely time to consider a bit more in depthly, if that is a word, who the next manager will be for Man United, because I can't see Solskjaer lasting until Christmas. So I've basically looked at the odds and like in bookies for the next manager, and the four favourites. I'm going to go through and explain who I think would be the best option for Manchester United. So without further ado, the first and the favourite is Brendan Rodgers, surprisingly, at the time of recording this video. And I I think it'd be a good fit, and I think it's sort of what United needs. It's just that Liverpool connection. But then again, over the past couple of years, we've seen Jose Mourinho, former Chelsea manager, go to Tottenham. We've seen Rafa Benitez, former Liverpool manager, go to Everton, although that is slightly different. A manager going from Liverpool to Man United would be a lot worse than Liverpool to Everton. Um, yeah, so I don't think it's out of the realms of possibility, but it would be a bit of a shock. But would it be a good fit? I think it would, because Brendan Rodgers plays a style of football that's very attacking, very positive, and I think that's what Man United needs. And he focuses on taking control of the game, lots of possession in midfield, and lots of players in midfield. So I feel like he would include a player like Van de Beek a lot more. So that'd be a positive thing for United, and also maybe McTominay as well. So if he could get McTominay, Pogba, and Van de Beek somehow playing together, I think that could work for him. So I think that would be a good appointment. Rodgers probably is the least biggest name out of the four in this video. Well, the four favourites. But yeah, if I was rating it out of 10 for fit, I'd probably say 8 out of 10. I think it would probably work. I like Brendan Rodgers as a manager. I think he's a really good manager. And people say he's a bottle job as a manager. Well, he won the FA Cup with Leicester, beating Chelsea in the final. He won the Community Shield against Man City. A lot of people say the Community Shield means nothing. Then why is it played? I count it for something, because it's a final of the Premier League champions again versus the FA Cup winners. It kicks off the season. It's as valid as the Super Cup, because that's just the Champions League winners versus Europa League winners. Anyway, I'm going into that too much. But yeah, I think he would be a good appointment because of the football he plays. Second is Antonio Conte. I don't think this would work, personally. Conte he's a good manager, a very good tactical manager. The football he gets his team playing isn't that bad as people would make out. It's slightly different to Thomas Tuchel. It's the same system in a three at the back, usually a 4 or 5 in midfield and 2 or 3 up front. But I don't think it would work for United, purely because again, 2 in midfield, unless you've got 2 very dominative midfield. Is that a word? Dominative. It is now. Like midfielders that can dominate games, like N'Golo Kante at Chelsea, is what he had. Then I don't think that would really work. So I'm not sure about that. And three at the back, it's not something Manchester United have really done before. They've pretty much always been a four at the back team, and well, except under Louis van Gaal, but the less said about that, the better. I'm sure some Man United fans have PTSD about Angel Di Maria at left wing back. God, that was awful. But no, I don't think it would work. And also, Conte, it usually ends up falling out with the club he manages, and it doesn't last very long anyway. So for that, I'd probably give it 5 or 6 out of 10. And next is Mauricio Pochettino. Now, what I should have said about Brendan Rodgers is he is the Leicester manager currently. So, I mean, Leicester fans are like, well, he's our manager. You can't just take him. So obviously he would have to be bought out of his contract. And with Pochettino, that's pretty much the same as well. And the thing with PSG managers is that they never seem to last that long. Their job's always under threat as soon as they exit from the Champions League. So you probably wouldn't be waiting that long until Pochettino gets sacked or something. But let's say he doesn't, and PSG win the Champions League this season, or they win their next 10 games, and it's all looking rosy for them. United would have to buy him out of his contract, and would it work for United? I think it probably would, because we've seen with his Tottenham team that they play good football whilst also being solid defensively. Like when we talk about some of the best defensive teams over the past 10 years, I don't think Pochettino Spurs get talked about enough. I think the back four they had at one point of, who was it? It was Kyle Walker, Toby Alderweireld, Jan Vertonghen and Danny Rose. They also had Kieran Trippier and Ben Davies sort of swapping in for Rose and Walker. And also Eric Dyer to back up the defenders. But yeah, I think that would work for United. Again, though, the problem potentially is the midfield, because he plays a similar shape to Solskjaer, Pochettino does usually. So that could be a problem. For this, I'd probably go a 7 out of 10. But he is a good manager, though, Pochettino. And finally, the final candidate is Zinedine Zidane, which is an interesting one because there's a lot of positives and potentially a few negatives. Obviously, Zidane I think he's only managed one team, and that's Real Madrid when they've been at their best in the past, well, this century. Like even the Galacticos era, they didn't really achieve that much, did they? Compared to what Zidane's Real Madrid as manager achieved 3 or 4, 5 years ago. Like they won 3 Champions Leagues in a row, which is ridiculous. But you've got to take into account that he hasn't yet managed a side that has not got like quality in some areas of the pitch. Like Man United have some quality players in their team, don't get me wrong, but I think on paper their team looks a lot better than it actually plays, would be the problem. So I'm not sure how Zidane would deal with that. However, one thing that Zidane did seem to do well at Real Madrid is control a dressing room that is full of like big name players, so you'd think there'd be a few egos in there. But yeah, what was I going to say? So like out of 10, I'd probably maybe give him a 6 because it is a bit of like an unknown entity because he has only managed one team and he did a very good job of it. But it would be very interesting to see how like if he could build how he would build this team because like he has a previous relationship with two of the United players in Rafael Varane and Cristiano Ronaldo. So yeah, that would be interesting to see. But anyway, I think the best suited would be Brendan Rodgers because of the football he plays. It's not like a massive name. People are saying like United need a big name in. Why? What difference does that make? In if anything, it just like adds unneeded attention. Like they've had so many big names since Sir Alex Ferguson, who is the biggest name of the lot, since he retired in 2013. Like Louis van Gaal didn't work out, Jose Mourinho didn't work out. So why would you go for it again? I think you just need a manager who's proven in the Premier League, Brendan Rodgers, plays good football, Brendan Rodgers, and can build a good side. Brendan Rodgers, like he did with Liverpool, like he's doing with Leicester. He took a Leicester side that I think when he took over were mid-table, and the following season and the year after was like one game off Champions League football. So I think Brendan Rodgers would be the perfect fit for Man United. I wouldn't want to see it as a Liverpool fan because I did like Brendan Rodgers. Like that 2013-14 season is one of my favourite seasons of all time. But yeah, anyway, thanks for watching and I'll see you next time.